This season of Beedie on Eyewear, the podcast, is brought to you in partnership with Orbis UK, a vision charity with a mission to create access to eye care around the world so everyone has a chance to thrive. To find out more or to see how you can get involved, visit orbis.org.uk. Enjoy the show, subscribe so you never miss an episode, and let us know what you think in the comments.
So, I can't wear that. Ask yourself why.
You are the first Black person in the world to earn a master's in fashion psychology. Every day you are making a decision, like you're involving yourself in fashion.
Like today I was like, yeah, this is the one for the bad girl glasses. Color psychology is not like where people say like, oh, if you're this shade, then you have to wear this color. It's not like that.
But glasses are on your face. Yeah. Like that's your face.
Yeah, it's like a visual representation of like them growing older.
And I just feel like you can do what you want. Who's going to beat you?
You can. No one. And you can use them to maybe dictate how you're going to be approached and perceived and how you're going to act throughout the day.
Welcome to this episode of Beedie on Eyewear, the podcast for optical professionals and eyewear lovers. I'm your host, Beedie, optometrist, content creator, and spectacle maker. Let's get into today's episode. Shakaila Forbes-Bell.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, baby girl.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really happy that you're here because a few, I wouldn't say months ago, it was ages ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I should look into the psychology of eyewear. Like, what's that about, right? Mm-hmm. And I actually wanted to ask you to be on season 1, yeah? This was ages ago, but then I was like, maybe I should have something that I can show her to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, rather than a random like, hey girl, come on my... But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Now, in 2016,
yes,
you were the first Black person in the world to earn a master's in fashion psychology. Yay. That's kind of big, right? Like 10 years later, how are we feeling about that?
I know, it was so crazy because I did the 2016, the recap thing.
Yeah.
Because people were saying like, oh yeah, you should do it, and I was like, what? Nothing happened back then. But then I realized like, oh, that'll happen then.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because when we were doing the course, it was so random because it was like no one really was talking about fashion psychology.
Yeah.
Like it was very, very niche. So even within the own uni, people were like, what course are you doing again? So to be able to look back and see like how like something that people didn't even know about has now been something that when I post about it, I talk about it, people are like super resonating with it. I see people using like contents from like the book from Big Dress Energy, like within their own like styling sessions with their clients and how I'm speaking to brands. And it's been amazing. It's definitely not something I planned or envisioned. I was just really passionate and very nerdy just about the research and the insights. And I was just like, people need to know. People need to know. And I think that's, that desire to educate, I think it's always been underlying everything. Yeah. And I'm just grateful that people were willing to learn.
I think that's something I really like about you and also about me in terms of very niche things. You want people to know more about things. And even though it's niche, it finds the people it needs to find. Yeah. And you haven't compromised on what it is that you're doing on the internet. Like it's been very consistent. It's been very stable. Like it's been very like, yep, this is what I do. And it's like the snowball effect. Yeah. You mentioned your book, Big Dress Energy, right? You're an author. Yeah. That book is... She's that girl. Do you know what I mean? You've been on television styling. You have your own show, Wearapy. The Wearapy show is great. You should watch that on YouTube.
Oh, girl. That's hilarious.
Do you know, I was watching it with my mum the other day. You know the episode with the lady who was a teacher and she was an art teacher and she had...
Yes, Emma. Yes.
Emma. And we were watching that show and it inspired conversations between the two of us. I was like, Mum, like, did you feel like, after you had us, like, you changed and she was like, yeah, like, I just feel like I don't really prioritize that stuff anymore, that sort of thing. Yeah. And I'm like, you get to an age where you realize your mum is just a girl. Like she's trying to figure it out like you.
She really is. And I love these conversations because I think so many women can identify with that, like feeling like they have to be for other people and then they lose their sense of self. And there's so much research into it, but again, it doesn't really like take center stage. And I think the more I've been discussing this with my own family, my family is just full of women, full of very strong women. And my mom loves to dip into my own wardrobe like all the time. And I'm realizing like, she wants to be a baddie too.
Exactly.
Like we just
she's
see her as mom, like she's her own person.
Yeah.
And then it just ties back into like one of the bases of psychology of fashion, which is about how it has such an impact on your mood and your identity and just like expressing yourself. It's like one of the most powerful forms of nonverbal communication. And often we see how we unintentionally use our clothes to like fade into the background. You're just throwing on a hoodie or a t-shirt and you just like fade into that background of just being like a mom or being a provider or being like a wife or whatever. And then when you finally start dressing for yourself, being authentic, how it enables you to bring out that other side of you. And why I think it's just so powerful that people really be expressive with their style. I really hate the idea of a signature style, actually. I think that's so boring. I think that's, if you're just looking one way, then you're going to be one way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's just so many layers to all of us. So our wardrobe should be as multifaceted as we are.
Yeah. In your book, there's a part, and I'm paraphrasing here, where you talk about basically like, you can't walk out of your house without clothes on. Like if it's not illegal, it's at the very least frowned upon.
At the very least.
At the very least. So every day you are making a decision, like you're involving yourself in fashion. And I know that there are some maybe like naysayers or doubters who maybe don't believe in fashion psychology and things like that. But actually, we're all participating. It's like in The Devil Wears Prada, where Meryl Streep is like, everyone thinks they're better than, like, you're not bigger than the program. Like,
no,
you participate in fashion. You have to on a daily basis.
Exactly. Yeah, you do it like unconsciously. I get that a lot from maybe like older men as well. They'll be like, oh, I don't care about this. I just threw this on. But like, why did you throw it on? Like, how is it making you feel? Like, what encourages you to like wear this repeatedly? Like, someone made it, so someone was influenced by something that caused you. Like, you're part of the culture, you're part of the like cultural zeitgeist, you're part of this generation.
You're involved whether you want to be or not.
Exactly, whether you want to or not. And because as humans, we're social creatures, we have this desire to belong. Like there's a reason you're wearing maybe like a grey jumper and not like, I don't know, a rainbow coloured one. Like there's a reason you chose that, because you want to blend in. You want to be a part of maybe what your colleagues are wearing, what your friends are wearing, because you desire to belong. And people naturally gravitate towards those who look similar. You know, there's a reason why they say like birds of a feather, right?
Yeah.
So it's so multifaceted, it's layered, and a lot of these decisions happen below levels of like conscious awareness, but it does have an impact on how people respond to you and how you feel about yourself as well.
We've spoken a bit about people who maybe don't get it or don't think that they're part of it, right? How do you explain fashion psychology to those people?
I normally ask them like, how does that outfit like make you feel? And then they might say something like, it's just comfortable, or I've just had it for a long time. And it's just like, okay, so why did you buy it? And then they'll take me through the whole process of, like maybe, I saw it in the shop, and a model was wearing it a certain way, or it was on sale. And then all of those like decisions, they say something about you, like you value frugality, or like you're someone that likes ease, or you're someone that likes comfort, you're someone that likes to feel a certain way because the comfort makes you act a certain way, and it makes you feel relaxed, and it makes you feel more focused. So again, that's all psychology, and it's all related to this decision of why this thing is on your body. And then when you kind of break it down like that, they always give it, and they're like, okay, I see it now. I've never had someone being like, no, that's not true. With fashion psychology, I always say that you already kind of know, you just haven't given yourself the space to explore it and find out why. And that's one of the main things of my work, is I'm getting you to be introspective, to actually consider what is the consequences of your actions, or what is driving your actions, so that you can make more mindful decisions. And then through knowing, you're making sure that things align, and you're making sure that you're stepping into the world every day as your most authentic self. And I think that's how everybody wants to be. I think that's the ultimate goal, right?
And I think your authentic self can fluctuate. It's kind of like what you were saying about signature style, right? You mentioned before about something being ease, comfort, like, okay, cool, my period's about to come. I'm not wearing tight jeans.
Exactly.
I want an elasticated waistband, and I'm building my outfit from there. You know?
Yeah, you want to be able to step into these different parts of yourself. So in the book, I talk about how we have these different versions, like the person you want to be, the person you are most of the time, and the person that you fear to be. So like the fear to be could be you at your most like antisocial self, or you when you're just like not feeling it, having a down day, want to be very like introverted and just like alone. I call those like my socially distanced outfits, like big hoodie, like like jumper from Primark from like 10 years ago, like leggings with holes, like that's just I know. I'm actually like leaning into that, because sometimes you don't always want to be happy and super and like your best self all the time. Sometimes you need to just like let things lie, and you need to just give in to those like maybe down or negative feelings, and you can use your clothes as a tool to help you embrace that. Especially that's really happy, like good for me, because I find sometimes I shut these things out and I'm always like trying to go and like do and be there for other people. So when I put on these clothes, it reminds me that it's okay to stop and like, yeah, I'm not feeling well and I've made a conscious decision to dress like that. So that must mean that I'm like not in the right headspace. So I need to kind of stop.
You can then evaluate why you're doing it.
Exactly. But then sometimes you're a bit feeling down, but you like circumstances are that you have to present as a certain way because maybe you have a big interview, maybe you have to perform a certain way, maybe you have a date, or maybe, you know, you're doing something that needs you to bring out your best self, and then you can use clothes that help you to step into that character, to help you like maybe it changes your posture, maybe it encourages you to stand up straighter and, you know, make you be more eloquent or make you be more bubbly, more or confident. Make you maybe it's a brighter color so people pay more attention to you, so it encourages you to like lean in a bit more, and then there's that person you are most of the time, so that's you when you're allowed yourself to kind of sit with your feelings and think like, what do you actually like how do you want to express yourself today? And again, that allows room for change, depending on your environment, depending on where you are, who you're influenced by at the time. So again, it's just like there's so many different layers to us, and I just can't imagine wearing the same thing every single day like a cartoon character. It just doesn't allow that room for growth.
So I love Totally Spies, because Totally Spies, they used to change their clothes out.
And
it was fantastic.
I love that.
It was a great time.
And now thinking about how much effort the
the
designers used to take to change that outfit all the time, like they don't make it like
they don't make them like they used to. I want to go back to the point about the 3 different versions of us, because I actually have that on my cards, right? And I'm glad you said it, because I couldn't remember what they were all called. And how it pertains to eyewear, right? I think when it comes to glasses, I mean, glasses are an extension of fashion as an accessory, I believe. And I think obviously they serve a purpose. So they help you to see, they protect your eyes from the sun, safety glasses, all the things. Okay, so they are functional, but also they are fashionable, or they can be. And I think that there are people who kind of see the glasses as like, okay, this is just my everyday self. I put them on, that's it. They help me see, that's that. I think maybe in thinking about glasses, there could be that pair of who you fear to be like, okay, cool, you know, I don't really want to talk to anyone right now. I have glasses that I know if I wear these glasses, someone's going to come up to me and ask me, oh, I like your glasses, they're kind of cool. You know, and I will not wear those glasses if I'm in a...
exactly.
I will wear something that's just not that, like, no comment, not that deep, like, you know? And then in the person that you want to be, it's like, okay, I want to be someone who wears more color. So, you know, having a pair that's like more colorful, brighter. I think that's a good way to kind of approach glasses or styling, or someone who's trying to do more. I think that's great. I completely resonate with that. For me, sometimes I take it a step further, and like if I'm really in that person, like I kind of fear to be, and I don't want to be involved in anything, I'll wear my old prescription. So like I just my old prescription sunglasses. So first of all, they're massive, and second of all, I can't really see you, so I'm like not involved. It's like I actually did not see you. It's actually like it's something that really separates me and you and the outside world. So you can. I love glasses because like you said, the functionality does play a big part. It helps
of it.
a bit,
It does, and like sometimes when I really don't want to be involved, I won't even wear my glasses at all, and it's just a bit of a squint, and that's fine. But I have my pair, like you know, like matching my glasses to my clothes. I love doing that, and then sometimes when I want to be maybe a bit more formal, serious, I'll just wear like my clear frames, or maybe just my like black round like rimmed frames, like things that are just more like laid back. So I love that. Again, you can use them to maybe dictate how you're going to be approached and perceived, and how you're going to act throughout the day.
This episode is sponsored by M2M Eyewear, a London-based eyewear brand offering made-to-measure frames for opticians. To find out more, visit m2meyewear.com. Back to the show. So when it comes to styling, because you do that, right? Do you, or when you yourself are getting dressed, do you go, these are the glasses I want to wear, so I'm going to wear this outfit? Or do you go, I want to wear this outfit, so I'm going to wear these glasses?
Ooh, I think it depends. I think like today I was like, this is the one for the bad girl glasses. So I'm like, I'm going to bring out the leopard pair, and I thought, let's just make a statement and then bring like the leopard outfit. So I think it does depend on the context of the situation. But But I do that a lot. Like I'll think about like a main piece that I want to wear in a day, and then I'll build something around
that,
it.
yeah.
So it could be glasses. It could be like a bag that I really like. It could be accessories too. It doesn't have to be actually the clothes. And it really depends on my mood. And I've noticed a lot. It depends on like something I've seen maybe in the day, something I've seen online on TikTok, Pinterest, on Instagram, or someone I've seen on the street, like that inspires me. I'm really inspired by people around me, and then I think, okay, how can I like work with that based
using
on what I have?
So
I also think that's like sustainable in a way, because you are seeing like how you can move with the trends, or you can do something different with what you already have. And I think that's about being creative. And I think people don't realize that you don't always have to like buy like for like, you know, you don't always have to be like, oh, like I need to get a pair of red glasses because I saw like this girl wearing it, or I need to get like the new Miu frames, because like you can like see what you already have and then work with that as well. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why people are very like careless with how they spend and how they shop, because they're not thinking about like what suits you as well. Like I love a lot of people who wear like cat eye glasses, like Nicole Brown, like I love them. But I noticed like some of them on me, especially if they're like smaller frame cat eye, it just doesn't look like right. Them, so I think that process of like actually trying things on and looking, but not just going online, seeing someone and then buying it for yourself. Like it's a process of actually trying and seeing before you buy, before you commit to something, and looking at what you already have and seeing how you can incorporate that into your stuff.
Yeah, I think especially with glasses, trying things on is so important.
It's so important. And I love how like websites now, they have, this is one good use of AI, that you can like put your picture in, or that you can like put yourself on camera and then you can try on. I do that for days before I buy a new pair. Like you want to really, and then I get my family involved, and I'm like, so I make them like judge. I'm like, okay, out of 10, what about this one? And then I tally them, and then I think, okay, how do I like
You're
it?
such a scientist,
man. Exactly. Like everything is like so
data,
thoroughly,
statistics.
All of that, because I want to make sure, and I think people don't do that enough. They're just like, okay, I'm just gonna get it.
I don't think we treasure things enough.
No,
you know.
Yeah.
I think like when I help people choose glasses, right, and I think that trying things on is so good because you get a response. You feel something regardless, right? If you try something on, you think, ugh, like that gives us information about you know, whether you like it, whether you don't like it. And I think that there are these arbitrary rules about face shape and colors, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. In your book, you have the don't, not, can't rule, which I think is extremely powerful. And I know you use it for clothes mainly, but also I think it applies really well to eyewear, because people will say to me, oh yeah, no, I can't wear cat eye, or I can't wear black frames, I'm too light, I can't. And it's like, if you change that out with don'ts, it almost like gives you back the power, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you're not saying that because some stylist somewhere said like, oh, if you look like this, or if your face is like this, and you know, you can't wear that. And I think it's focusing back on how you feel. Because you might put on that cat eye and then you might start smiling, or you might start, you know, like ignore, just feeling a bit looser. And then that should be what dictates to you. Or you might put it on and be like, oh, it's drawing too much attention to this facial feature that I don't like specifically enjoy. And then that is something that you need to really acknowledge, because again, it's about taking control over the situation and making sure that you are the one that's feeling like empowered, and it's not like the accessory or the clothes dictating you, like you're dictating.
You're wearing them, they're not wearing you.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the perception of people wearing glasses or in eyewear. And there are studies on this, which we'll discuss. But even just like from I'm a person in the world point of view, in the media, I feel like glasses are depicted as kind of like nerdy, kind of geeky.
Yeah.
Like I'm really interested in like cartoon characters, their portrayal with glasses, because the cartoon characters that come to mind when I think of glasses is like Dexter. I think of Velma from Scooby-Doo. I think of Gretchen from Recess. Like I think of these like nerdy characters. And obviously a cartoon character is not a real person. I mean, no character is a real person, they're characters. But someone decided and said, oh, do you know what this character needs? Glasses. So like it's an intentional decision they made to take these personality traits that they've given the character and also then take this accessory that they also give the character to kind of marry them together. And a lot of that is really smart, intelligent, geeky.
Yeah. And I think a lot of studies like back that up. A few of the studies that, we've been looking into looks at different traits that people associate with people who are wearing glasses. And it is things like trustworthiness and intelligence and industriousness and like honesty and kindness. And I do think the media does have a lot of impact on that. And like if you're going like all the way back into like, like early depictions of like Superman, for example, and like, when he's Clark Kent and he's wearing his glasses and, he's depicted as someone that's a bit like shy and like introverted. And then it's only when he takes them off, then he becomes
he's literally Superman.
Exactly. And I think that's something that's been carried on, like, especially in the media for decades. And I think it's showing almost like, that there is like a physical limitation when it comes to glasses. Like you literally can't see. So it is a bit like,
how are you super when you can't see? Like,
yeah, exactly. So it is that idea of like, okay, like you might not have the power, the strength, but then what's the other side of that coin? So you have like the intelligence and the smarts, and like it's like the guy like what do they say in Spider-Man? The guy behind the laptop, the screen, like, the sidekick kind of character. And I think that these traits, because we've seen them depicted for so long, it does influence then how the everyday person does perceive people wearing glasses. And then in turn, how you perceive yourself. Yeah. So I think that's something like in psychology, we call like enclosed cognition, which is essentially saying like the meanings that you ascribe to certain clothes, when you wear it, you embody that.
Right.
So because you have been maybe influenced to consider someone with glasses to be like intelligent because of all these portrayals, when you wear it, you're saying like, okay, this is associated with intelligence, so I'm like more intelligent now because I'm wearing it. So again, it's so interesting, like the way that our media and like even in society, how we see certain people looking a certain way, like with certain accessories, certain clothing, like how that has such an impact on us when we are wearing it as well. I mean, that's something that we need to be conscious of too, like what we are consuming.
Yes.
And then how that is impacting us when we are mimicking those styles.
Yeah. There was this guy on TikTok and he was saying, guys, like the key to getting a really good paying job is to wear glasses to your interview. You see that one? And he literally was like, like he was going for interviews and stuff. And then like the moment he started wearing glasses, and he didn't even have a prescription, he just got some like blue light ones. And he's like, like he just started wearing glasses and he just started getting more traction.
Yeah.
And I was like, how interesting. It kind of ties in with the studies that we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of studies have proven that. Some of these studies were conducted, I guess, in like the 70s and the 80s, but there's some more recent ones in like the early 2000s. And it's the same like across like both genders as well, like saying like for men, women, like for anyone in between, like people who are wearing these glasses, they're associated even more with like more feminine traits. Which I thought was
like, so essentially we say more feminine traits, but they're saying you're weak. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like it's still, it's feminine, like negative.
It was, which I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. But then I just think about the portrayals in media of like men who have been like with like no limitations, and I think that glasses are seen as like a limitation in that aspect. And then even in like very old like depictions of like women who have like transformed from like an ugly duckling to like a beautiful swan. They always so they always take off the glasses, they take the pin out of the hair, and, like all these things, and it does stem from somewhere, but it's kind of, you have to realize that this stems from like one person's like ideal, and then that has just been like pushed out to so many people, and that's just had an influence as well.
I think it's stepping out. I think with clothes, right? They're on your body. People see them, But glasses are on your face. Like, that's your face. Do you know what I mean? Like, they look at you and they see that. And I think sometimes people want to hide. People want to stand out. It's like what you were saying. Colors, I think, are a really important one. Another one where I think your rule, the don't, not, can't applies. Because who tells you can't wear it? Like, you can wear whatever you like. Do you know what I mean? But colors do like psychologically evoke different emotions, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So color psychology is not like where people say like, oh, if you're this shade, then you have to wear this color. It's not like that. It's actually rooted in like in scientific research, basically showing that colors are on a spectrum. spectrum. You should remember this from like your GCSE study. So you have long wavelength colors. So these are like the reds, the oranges, the yellows, and those are supposed to have an impact on your sympathetic nervous system, which controls like your different like organs, like your heart, and then it controls blood flow and like how much your pulse is racing. And this shows that when we are interacting with long wavelength colors, we actually feel more aroused. So we're more alert,
ready to
more
go,
like energetic. We're feeling more vibrant. So when we are actually in the presence of short wavelength colors, which is on the opposite side of the spectrum,
blues.
so like the blues, the indigos, like the purples, it has the opposite effect. So it impacts the parasympathetic nervous system. So this causes us to be more
calm,
relaxed,
chill,
more docile, more calm. And I think that's something that can be very powerful, because again, it's all about using your style to control how you are feeling. So if you want to feel like, okay, it's now time to go, maybe I'm feeling lazy, maybe I need to be more active and get up, throw on something red, throw on something orange, and then you'll have that response. And the same is like, oh, I need to calm down, I need to relax. Same with like, you can see a lot in like spas and places like that. Like you'll see a lot of the blues and the purples, like, okay, I need to calm down now. Your body knows like it's time to relax. And I think that's why choice is like so impactful, and like being very understanding of the language of your clothes, like what they're saying, like how they're making you feel, so that you can like respond in kind.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about sort of the attractiveness, well, from what the studies say, the attractiveness, different traits associated with glasses wearers. There was also a study which spoke about self-esteem.
Yes.
And it said, it was quite interesting to me, because it said that people who first wore glasses as children or as adults were seen to have lower self-esteem. And those in the middle and adolescence were found to have like higher self-esteem. And the lower self-esteem as a child, I can kind of understand. I think I was a really like shy child. I started wearing glasses at 9, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to be different. That sort of thing. I can't see, blah, blah. But then also when I think about the adult one, when I see patients in practice as opposed to the hospital, and they get to that age of about like 45, 50, where they start to need reading glasses, I find that it kind of affects them like psychologically. And it took me a while to kind of be like, do you know what? This is actually a big deal. It's like, I'm coming to you to tell you that your eyes that have worked perfectly fine up until this point now aren't really working as well. Through no fault of your own, all you did was live. That was your only crime. And it's a natural thing that happens. And now, not only that, you have to wear glasses, this thing on your face to signify that change, which is linked to your age.
Exactly.
Like, it's quite psychological.
Yeah, it's like a visual representation of like them growing older. And I think it can be seen as like they're having to cope with so many changes and difficulties, like maybe their body is not acting like how it used to, but maybe that's something they can ignore. Maybe they can just take medication for that and kind of like get on.
No one has to know.
Yeah, no one has to know. But I think with glasses, it's something that's so visible, like you can't hide it. Which is why I think it's so important to maybe even lean into that, you know. And I think there's so much research that talks about older people, they actually do crave to be more expressive and be more bold with their choices, but everything that they're offered is very beige and very bland. And you know, the whole idea of like mutton dressed up as lamb, and like you need to kind of quiet yourself when you're getting older, and then people can internalize that. So when it's like something else to style, it can be a bit like confusing there as well, and have all these conflicting emotions. So it can be difficult to navigate too. So I understand that definitely. And then of course, as you're a child, your like self-concept, so your idea of who you are is like always changing, and you're looking more to others to kind of inform that. So the idea that now you have something that is separating you and making you stand out too much is something that you're not going to really want. But then as you get older, you have that desire to stand out a bit more. You get the benefits from uniqueness, and people notice when you're different, and then that different creates like that attention as well, which is what we crave, especially in adolescence. So again, like it's so interesting how like different points of your life, when you're like coping through like all of these different changes and the things that you require out of life and out of other people are changing, and then how your style like reflects that, or your reception to your style is going to impact that as well.
On the point of kids, when you're younger and your self-esteem, there was a study that said that kids wearing glasses were more likely to be bullied physically or verbally, which all the cartoons and the TV shows confirm. Was it Swirly Whirly, whatever it's called? And I think that's really interesting, because it can also lead, like as an optometrist, it can lead to non-compliance, right? So you see this child after a few months or whatever, and you're like, hey babe, how's the glasses going? And they're just like, oh yeah, fine. And mum goes, no, they don't wear them. They don't wear them. And I now, like whenever I do see children, like have conversations and be like, do you like these glasses? Like, do you like the way they look? And lots of times they're like, no. I'm like, is that why you don't wear them? They're like, yeah, I don't like them. I want them to be pink, but no, they're blue or whatever. And it's like, maybe if they, like, because children, they are children, but they have like a sense of self, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm no psychologist, but I think maybe even earlier than like you would think, like they know kind of who they are and what they want. They have thoughts and feelings and opinions and things. And when I see them like choosing glasses and things, it's like, oh, like you actually care about what is on your face, like, you know? So I think it's important to kind of give them the freedom to choose and to pick something that they like.
I resonate with that so much. Like my niece as well, she was given glasses and they are so cute, and we were all the adults are like, she's 10 and we're like, oh, they're adorable. Oh my God, they're so adorable. Taking pictures. That girl has hardly worn those glasses. And I think it's what I think because we put so much of like our feelings, and it's crazy, I'm a fashion psychologist, I should know this, but I just put so much of like my ideas and my perceptions on her, and then it's obviously like realizing like, you know, we're trying to make her so cute, but she's actually sometimes can be a bit of a tomboy. Like she likes like baggy clothes, she loves her hoodies and things like that. Exactly. And that's something that you need to factor in.
Allow them the space.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously you have to encourage them that know that they do have the voice and like when to speak up as well, because they'll just silently not wear them. Next thing you know, the prescription's just getting worse and worse and stronger and stronger.
Come with me. If I do see children out and about wearing glasses, like I'll always obviously speak to the parent and be like, your glasses are amazing, they look so nice on you. Like I always love to validate them, because I know when I was a kid, I mean nowadays they have some great choices. They have some cute, I mean I have kids come in pretending they need glasses because they just want to wear glasses. I'm not going to waste my time, like but that's how the it's sort of changed. So I would hope that if a study was done today, that statistic about bullying would hopefully be less.
I definitely think so. I think now we're lucky to live in the time where there's so many different portrayals now, especially YouTube as well. A lot of my younger nieces and nephews, they watch that, and you know there's a different variety of people who maybe mainstream media wouldn't have like platforms like back in the day when we were growing up. So again, there's so many more models that they have of what is beauty and what is like popular. So
representation and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, Shakaila, it's been a great time. But before we let you go, I want to ask you, what's one piece of advice that you would give to someone watching this?
I would say, like, if you see something you like and you say, oh, I can't wear that. That's something I hear all the time.
I can imagine, especially when you're doing therapy.
I hear I can't wear that. Ask yourself why. Why can't you wear that? Follow the thought. And then I think you're uncover more than you realize. I think a lot of that is about like, oh, people will. And I think if you're just saying, yes, people are going to have something to say about what you're wearing. People do take notice of your style, and maybe they might have judgments about that. But again, like how much is that going to impact you on an overall basis? Like you have to live in the clothes, like you have to be the one that looks in the mirror. So how much like weight are you actually putting on these other people? Or you're saying like, it just won't look good, but you haven't even given yourself a chance to like try. And that's something I experienced a lot when I was doing like This Morning behind the scenes. I love that. I wish that part was recorded, because I'd be like, okay, try this on to women, and women would be like, I don't know about that, I can't wear that. And I put them on, then you see their hips swaying and they're like, oh, I like that. And they're just absolutely loving it. But then again, they've not allowed themselves to try something which actually deep down they've actually liked. So if you see something and you say, oh, I couldn't never wear that, follow that train of thought.
I feel like that's the role of a stylist though, right? It's to kind of like bring you out of yourself and allow you to see yourself the way that you see them. Sometimes we can really get into our heads about certain things. And I just feel like you can do what you want, and who's going to beat you?
You can. No one. And if they do, jail.
Fight back. Do you know what I mean? But okay, where can they find you?
So you can find me mostly on Instagram. Fashion is Psychology. Mine is Shakaila Elise. Fashionisspsychology.com. We have so many articles on there where you can learn more about fashion psychology. You can join our courses now. We have online courses if you want to be a fashion psychologist yourself, or just get more information about that. Big Dress Energy, of course, is available at all good bookstores.
It's a great book. It's a great book.
And of course on YouTube, The Wearapy Show. We've just had our first 3 episodes. working on more soon.
I was going to say, when
But
can we
check
get
them
more
out.
episodes?
It's in the works.
Okay,
The
love
works
that,
is
love that.
coming
If you
soon.
want an eyewear stylist, you let me know. Okay, I'll be there. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. I've had a great time.
Thank you so much.
How'd you find it, girl?
It was good.
I mean, you know your things. Like, you know your things. I'm like, this study, that study, this year, that year, this year. I'm just like, girl,